when music used to be music. Did you know that the WBC has ordered already? Now, okay, all right. Let me rewind. We already knew, or you should have known about a few months ago, that the WBC had ordered the winner of Jean Pascal and Sergey Kovalev to take on Adonis Stevenson, who is the Ring lineal recognized, even though Sergey Kovalev has 3 belts, recognized Light Heavyweight Champion. To give you a little bit of a crash course to how we got here today. 2013 Fighter of the Year, Adonis Superman Stevenson knocked out Chad Dawson in the biggest upset, one of the biggest upsets of the year at that point in time. He's a former 168-pound fighter. Adonis Stevenson is up there in his late 30s right now. Not too late. I believe he's like 36 if I'm correct. But basically, after the big year 2013, he had 2014 when he took on Fonfara. A lot of fans were upset with him because that was his first fight on Showtime, a part of his new exclusive Al Heyman, thank you so much deal. So a lot of fans felt, in which it did show to be true, because there's documents to prove so, that Adonis Stevenson had openly ducked Sergey Kovalev, especially when you look at fights against Tony Bellew and who was it? I believe it was Tavoris Cloud, when he was asked on HBO in post-fight interviews with Max Kellerman about Sergey Kovalev, and basically he just completely just blew the dude off. So when you have a 2014 with Fonfara, which turned out to be a good fight that actually made Fonfara somewhat of a household name. Fonfara was good. A lot of boxing fans knew that Fonfara was good, but yet that Showtime fight did Fonfara good, to whereas Fonfara got his own Showtime card, over in Chicago. So basically what I'm trying to say is Fonfara was not supposed to do that well, as far as a lot of fans are concerned, with Adonis Stevenson. And also that fight, even though Adonis Stevenson won, showed some flaws in Adonis Stevenson as far as punch variety in conditioning. So then later that year, I covered all these fights, by the way. Adonis Stevenson took on a fighter by the name of Dmitry Sukhotsky. Now, that was a fight that fans are like, well, what the fuck? You have no business fighting this guy in no way, shape, or form. What about Jean Pascal? Because at that point in time right then, Jean Pascal was available. That would have been a very big fight. But in my opinion, with that new Al Heyman deal that Adonis Stevenson had, it just came across that maybe Al Heyman wanted to let him eat first, make a little bit of money, and then we'll start getting you on, in tougher fights. So let's just start building your name up. Now, in fans' eyes, basically, it pissed a lot of us off, because we're thinking like, he had no business fighting Sukhotskiy, especially in this social media generation and age where we know that there's so many other fighters that he could have been fighting, but yet he fought Sukhotskiy, and now he's fighting Sakio Bika. Now, here's the thing. Sakio Bika is the underdog in a lot of fans' eyes, but Sakio Bika is very good, and fans should not look past Sakio Bika. Why? Because Adonis Stevenson versus Sakio Bika is a 50-50 fight. Remember, Adonis Stevenson was just at was just at 168 pounds 2 fights ago. Sakio Bika fought Anthony Durrell twice. Then before that, Marco Antonio Parabon in the fight, what was one of the best 2 rounds of the year at that point in time. So not only has Sakio Bika been around, but yet, look, he's not really, compared to other fighters, if he's fighting, if he was fighting a guy like an Anthony Durrell or Andre Durrell or Badu Jack or, a Jillian Love or something like that, he would be considered an older fighter. But fighting a guy like Adonis Stevenson, they're both around the same age, you get me? So I'm thinking to myself, hold on 1 minute. I'm thinking, come on. So I'm thinking to myself, like, well, why are fans just saying, we want to see Adonis Stevenson versus Sergey Kovalev, and not thinking that, well, maybe Sakio Bika has a good chance to defeat Adonis Stevenson. Now, as we get closer to the fight, actually in about a few days or so, I'm going to be doing a fight week prediction and actually getting into a little bit more detail of what I mean. But as it stands right now, the WBC has ordered for talks to begin with Adonis Stevenson and Sergey Kovalev. So I applaud the WBC for allowing or for wanting this to happen and basically putting Adonis Stevenson or Sakio Bika in a situation where it's like, yo, you have to fight Sergey Kovalev. Adonis Stevenson during the at the end of the Sergey Kovalev versus Sean Pascal fight, Adonis Stevenson went up to the HBO announcers table and talked to Bernard Hopkins and said he's going to be fighting Sergey Kovalev next. And I'm thinking he could have just jinxed himself, like, and once again, I'm really trying to point out this, that, like, yo, Sakio Bika may be an underdog, but in a way, he's a better overall fighter than Adonis Stevenson, in my opinion. Adonis Stevenson is just pretty much a knockout guy, and Sakio Bika has went the distance and looked good going the distance. People keep saying, he's a smaller fighter. Well, Adonis Stevenson was just at that weight a couple of years ago. Not even a full 2 years ago. Yeah, it's been about 2 years now. Yeah, so, I'm saying this. For some reason, I'm seeing Sakio Bika versus Sergey Kovalev. That's just, because it's been too much craziness going on with this situation. And I'm thinking like, yo, he probably going to lose before then. Or Sergey Kovalev. But Sergey Kovalev, in my opinion, right now, the WBA Super World, IBF, WBO, IBO, WBC Silver or Diamond, whatever it is, he is the recognized champion. I understand that because of labels and titles and where the belt came from. Adonis Stevenson is the lineal champion, but the recognized champion, the champion, is Sergey Kovalev. Why? Is because Sergey Kovalev is not the one who looks like he's been running from Adonis Stevenson. It's the other way around. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I gotta save some more for my fight week video. I cover every single major fight live. Also, check out the media call for Adonis Stevenson versus Sakio Bika. It started getting real crazy at the end because he just kept getting questions about Sergey Kovalev. Everybody was asking him, well, is Sergey Kovalev next? You say you weren't impressed with Sergey Kovalev, and and it's a shame because once again, it's just like Sakio Bika is just playing the back burner, and I'm like, yo, he could really put a whooping. He could really put a whooping on Adonis Stevenson. And think about, like that bad blood he had with Anthony Durrell. It was great. They was great war in the streets. That's how bad it was at that point. So I'm thinking to myself, yo, just what I'm saying is, listen, Sakio Bika's not a joke. And I understand a lot of fans want Adonis Stevenson to lose, but realistically, Sakio Bika can really do it. He has a better chance, in my opinion, than from far Sukhotsky, and who else? Tony Bellew. T-Street Controversy Live.